What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into the power rankings. It's been a while. We're kind of in this mix where I've had a lot of college basketball content coming out, and I just haven't been able to get to the NBA content. But now that, it's in the middle of March Madness right now, so not going to be making really. I'll only be making my Sweet 16 predictions. Then the rest of the year, the rest of the this stretch is going to be NBA. So, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say first. But anyway, let's get in. And I just want to thank you guys, by the way, for my last video. It got 1,000 views, March Madness predictions. That I just did not think it was going to do that good. So I thank you guys for that. But anyway, yeah, this video is not going to do that good, but because it was March Madness. But anyway, you're here for the predictions. The power rankings. So let's get into this. Starting out with the number 30 team, the Rockets, and staying at the same spot from just 2 weeks ago. Basically, the same Rockets team we've been saying for a while now. They're 17-53. Just not the greatest team right there. The worst team in NBA right now. So that's where the Rockets are. And then number 29, we got Orlando. And basically the same thing with the Magic. The Magic are... Here, let me pull up their last 10 games. Sorry about this, guys. Magic. Both the Rockets and the Magic are eliminated, by the way. All these teams in this trash and bad tier are eliminated. Magic I've lost 3 straight. They're 4-6 in the last 10 games. Basically the same Magic team we've had all year, though. Just not a good team at all. Number 28, we got Detroit. There you are. And staying at the same spot, all these trash teams, same thing. If you want to go and know more about them, watch my previous power rankings. It's just been the same thing. They're kind of competing. They're 5-5 in the last 10 games, so decent. Cade Cunningham. They're happy about him. But yeah, that's really what the Pistons are doing. It was a tank year for them. They're gonna, have a high draft pick to build around Cunningham this offseason. So that's really their goal. And then number 27, the Thunder, which will drop, I do believe, out of the bad tier from 2 weeks ago into this trash tier. The Thunder are not... Wait, actually, I was wrong. The Thunder are not eliminated yet. But they are very, very close. They have lost 8 straight, so they're basically out of contention right now. 1-9 in the last 10 games. The Thunder, the reason why they were in the bad tier for these previous weeks is because they were being competitive. They were 4-6 in the last 10 games. They were hanging around that 20-win mark. Now they're just tanking. So I feel like they needed to come down for that. All right, so moving on to the loner and the bad tier, really for the beginning of the year. Now for this year, it's going to be the Pacers. The only team with a white thing. I don't know why they have that, but behind them. But yeah, that's the Pacers. Just been competitive basically all year, trying to hang in there, but they are eliminated. 4-6 the last 10 games. That's just what the Pacers are trying to do. Obviously traded away Sabonis before the trade deadline, so they're not nearly as competitive. But yeah, the Pacers gonna need to rebuild this offseason and figure out some holes that they got. And then, all right, so we got a lot of people staying at the same spots from 2 weeks ago. 25 is going to be the Kings. I feel like we've nearly established everyone's role this season. Kings in the hunt barely. I was tempted to put them back down into that bad tier, but I feel like they're good enough that they could go on a run. Maybe. It's very unlikely, but they could go on a run. A crazy run and make the playoffs. I don't think it's going to happen at all, though. The Kings, they're just... they got the talent. They've had the talent for the previous years, but they just cannot put it together to make at least get the 10 seed. That should not be too hard to do, especially in a Western Conference this year. At that 10 seed is wide open this year. But yeah, it's just the Kings. I mean, they're just not very good this year. They're not playing to their potential. They have 47 losses. I mean, they're 3-7. The last thing is, I mean, the Kings very inconsistent this year. And then number 24, the Spurs, a team that's been very consistent, really all year. They've really hanged around that 4-6, 3-7, and 5-5 range. That's literally every power ranking. I've never seen them go above that. Never seen them go below that. They're 27-44. I mean, they're only a game and a half back on the Pelicans, who are the 10th seed. But yeah, basically the Spurs. Popovich is trying to carry them to the playoffs. It's not going to happen this year, I don't think. I feel like that 10 seed probably is already established with the Pelicans. And then the Blazers with Lillard. You got to put them in the head of the pack there. The Trailblazers at 26-43 have lost 3 straight. They're 1-9 in the last 10 games. So they're really not putting themselves in a position to make it into that. But if they could turn things around, which Damian Lillard can do, they could make the play-in tournament. But Damian Lillard is very much probably going to be gone this offseason. I don't know if he's going to be a free agent. If not, he'll probably be traded. But yeah, that's where the Blazers are right now. And then number 22, the first play-in team off the board. Been a trend over the past few power rankings that this play-in tournament team in the West Conference comes before any of the in the hunt, East teams. Anyway, the Pelicans at 29-41 are in a good spot to make the play-in tournament. Ever since they traded for CJ McCollum, they've been much better. And they're actually only a game back on the Lakers, so they could get home court advantage on the Lakers, which would be surprising to enter into this year. So that's where the Pelicans stand. And then number 21 would be the Wizards, dropping down a spot. First time any of these teams have moved. Washington, where are they? Can't even find them for some reason. There they are. And yeah, you're there in the hunt. We got one more team there. 29-41. It's basically a toss-up between these two teams. I'll throw out the Knicks there. But Washington, I mean, they were going on a winning streak the last power rankings I made, and ever since then have lost 6 straight games and have completely tanked. And now it is looking horrible for them to make the play-in tournament. I mean, they are 5.5 games back on the Hornets. This is a good East Conference. It's going to be open this year in the East Conference, whoever wins that championship, because the 10 seed is 500. In the West, the 10 seed is 400. So, like, there's a big difference between these East and West teams in this play-in, like, right where we are right now. West is very much divided. East very much close together until you get outside of that play-in tournament. But anyway, New York, the next team, they're not going to make it. It looks like they have won. They're turning things up 30-40, but they're going to have to go on a run. They're going to have to finish off the year probably at 41-41 and hope that the Hornets and the Hawks, finish at something like that. I mean, that's the most realistic possibility for them, but it's not going to happen. That's where the Knicks are right now. All right, so that are the play-in tournament. That is the in the hunt teams. So anyway, let's move on to these play-in teams. This is going to start. It's going to be next, not start out with because we already got the Pelicans in there. But next, it's going to be the LA Lakers. And the Lakers, I've been very tempted to move them below the Knicks and the Wizards and maybe even the Pelicans. LeBron James is literally putting this team on his back without Anthony Davis. I don't know if AD is going to be back for the play-in tournament. If he's not, watch out, Lakers. I don't know if LeBron James, he will, but he might not be able to carry them this much. I mean, this team is just a mess right now. They're basically all over ESPN. If you go through their video highlight things, there's probably going to be something about how the Lakers are doing so bad and all this stuff they need to fix. It's just been a tragic year for them. But they got the talent. That's why they're above some of these worst teams in the Wizards. These teams that are basically the same record as them. The Wizards, the Knicks, the Pelicans. They got the better talent than them. They just suck right now. So that's where the Lakers are. And then the other LA team at 18, the Clippers, dropping down a couple spots. Without Leonard, obviously this is just a year. I don't even know if Leonard's going to be back for the playoffs. I don't even know what's going on with him right now. But this is just one of those years where the Clippers are going to be like, okay, this is a bad year. Is he on free agency this year? I'm not quite sure. But if he isn't, they're going to be like, okay, let's go back. Wait, no, they signed him last year. Okay, my bad. But they're going to be like, let's go back. This is kind of a bad year. He's injured. Let's go back, get everything together, and win next year. That's really the Clippers' mindset, I think. And that they might be able to just sneak into that playoffs. They're going to have to go through the Lakers, I think, in the next game, which is a tough matchup. But we'll see what happens there. That's where the Clippers are. George really trying to carry them. And then the Hornets at number 17. There you are. Going to be jumping up a spot. Hornets at 35-35. Impressed with Charlotte lately. Have completely, basically killed some of these other teams like the Wizards and the Knicks from making the tournament. Have won 3 straight. They're 6-4 in the last 10 years. These two teams are very close. I'm going to put up the Hawks, who are jumping up jumping up a spot as well. So both these teams right now at 35-35. Very even teams. And really fighting for who's going to get the both these teams could fight to get past the Nets. They're only a game and a half back on the Nets. But both these teams basically are just fighting to see who can get that home court advantage in that 9 versus 10 matchup. That's going to be big for one of these teams. And I think basically whoever has that's probably going to win that game. So both those teams are very tight right there with Ball and Young. And then 15, we got the Nets. Dropping down a spot just because of one of these other teams that's climbing up like crazy right now. If you look at the Nets, they're 37-34. Brooklyn is... they were going through a very tough stretch. Now they're kind of getting back. They're 5-5 of the last 10 games. Not bad. Nets just playing their best, trying to do their best. That's really what the Nets are trying to do right now. They're 37. I've said that a lot. But anyway, really nothing else to talk about. KD, Irving, Simmons isn't playing. They're going to be probably a dangerous team come playoffs. Actually, definitely, even if they don't even have Simmons. Nets, watch out for them. But right now, they're at number 15. Then number 14, we got the Raptors. There you are, Toronto. They are in the contention to pass up the Cavs, actually, guys. They're 6-4 in the last 10 games, and they're game back on the 6th seed, who is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland's fallen kind of off of the map lately. But yeah, Toronto doing good basketball. Van Vliet, this Siakam. But yeah, is that his name? Yeah, I think so. The Raptors, they're just a good team. This is kind of what you were expecting from them. They're well coached. And ever since they went on that winning streak, they were kind of right there at the beginning, like in December or January with the Spurs. Now they're kind of getting things together and just slowly going. This is what happens when you just slowly go and you get good games over and over. You get up into this range where you're in a good spot to be maybe even a playoff team, like for good in the playoffs. They're only a game back of the Cavs. We'll see what happens on these last couple weeks with that. Anyway, number 13, the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I've been down on the Cavs all year, and now it's starting to show. The Cavaliers, they were great to start out the year, but they don't have as much talent. They don't even have as much experience. Talent they have for the future. Experience, not so much. It's going to be a work in progress. The Cavaliers, this is good for them, though. if they can make this playoffs as a 6 seed, get into the playoffs, get that under their belt, that's going to be a good beneficial. Maybe even win a 3 seed like the Sixers or the Bucks. I doubt that would happen, but if it does, that would be impressive for Cleveland. But I mean, yeah, like people had this team in the top 10s early on in the year. Like even top 5s. I saw that when they were like really doing good. I mean, this Cavaliers team, they're good, but don't mistake this team for like a team that's going to make a deep run in the playoffs. That's what I've been trying to say basically all my power rankings. This team's I don't think's going in a deep run this playoffs. But you never know. Hawks did it last year. Maybe they do it this year. So, anyway, moving on to number 13, Timberwolves have won 3 straight and 9-1 in the last 10 games. The last play-in tournament tier for, it's weird how this worked, 4 East, 3 West, and then the Timberwolves, the lone Western Conference team right there. What a week for the Timberwolves. This is the Timberwolves team you want to see at 41-30. This is a dangerous team. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell. Like last year, I don't even know why this team was so bad last year. They really picked things up at the end of the year. This year, this should be the team every year, basically, for the past 4 years for the Timberwolves. This team has the talent to make the playoffs and actually do some damage. This team could be if they're a 7 seed like they are right now, this team could be a Grizzlies team. I actually probably would go with that upset. We'll see what happens, though. Cat only has been in 1 playoff game, I think. D'Angelo Russell's been in a couple, I think. But, yeah. Timberwolves, they're good. Watch out for this Timberwolves team. They're scary come playoff times, especially with Karl Anthony Towns. And then number 11, we got the Nuggets. Nuggets been turning things like basically staying at the same spot at as they had been all year, 6-4 in the last 10 games. Once they get, I don't know if Jamal Murray's coming back this playoffs. I'm not quite sure about that, but they're fighting. They're only a game and a half back on the Mavericks and 2 games and a half back on the Utah Jazz. The Nuggets with Jokic, you don't really want to see this Nuggets team. Jokic's already proven to make it run come playoffs, but they're going to need Murray if they want to make a deeper run. But I don't think Jokic could carry this team past some of these better teams. But yeah, that's the Nuggets right there. Then number 5, we got number 10, the Bulls. Oh yeah, Nuggets, by the way, dropping down 2 spots. The Bulls dropping down 3 spots. It's Bulls, very great start to start out the year. Last power rankings, I do believe this team was right up in the Heat's face, like a game back them. Now, have lost 3 straight. They're 2-8 in the last 10 games. So at 41-29, come on, Bulls. I mean, this team has the talent, but they have fallen off in the last stretch. It kind of pains me to put them in the playoff tier because I've been higher than them than most people all year. But I got to see what's going on with them, and they're struggling. So I'm going to move them down to this playoff tier. They need to go on a winning streak. You cannot be cold come playoff times. It just does not work out. So I'm going to go, and they're actually at risk of falling to a 7 seed, actually. They're only 2 games up on the Raptors, who are the number 7 team. So watch out, Bulls. You got to get things together. And then number 9, the Dallas Mavericks have been on a stretch, barely beat the Nets with Spencer Dinwiddie making, was that the Sixers? Sixers and Nets, but Dinwiddie made a 3 to win the game. If that was his Nets, his former team. But the Mavericks are 8-2 in the last 10 games. They just lost 1 though. Trying to sneak up. They've been very close to Utah. They actually tied them this week. But just been Utah's kind of hanging right there. It's very close, man. We'll see what happens. That could be big. Dallas could beat Utah in the first round if they have that first home court advantage. We'll see what happens, though. That's where the Mavericks are. I don't think their contender, Luka Doncic, I don't think is going to be able to carry this team all the way to the mountaintop, but we'll see what happens. And then number 8, we're in the contender spot now, guys. The Celtics jumping up 3 spots. Celtics are officially contenders. I remember this team maybe even February. They were down at like 16, 15 range. Now they're in the top 10 and in contender tier. That was quite impressive, this run that the Celtics have gone on. They have won 2 straight, 8-2 in the last 10 games. That's basically been the theme for the past 2 months for Boston, and it's changed their season around to becoming contenders. Very, very tight of them being a contender or being a team down there, but I do like them to make it be a contender because of Tatum, because of Brown. They got some good supporting casts. Feel like the Mavericks are kind of a one-man show. I mean, they got some decent players behind them, behind Luka, but Luka's basically going to have to carry this team to victory, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that. Tatum and Brown and this team could do it. That's why I put them in contender. I could see them walking away with a championship this year. And then anyway, we got the number 7 team will be the Bucks at 44-26, 2.5 games back on the number 1 seed right there. Milwaukee trying to take that. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. Very good year for the Bucks. But will it happen? We'll see what happens here. Milwaukee, Giannis. Giannis is going to be a threat come playoff time. This feels like the Bucks team last year. A lot of people probably going to be down on them, but they just went on a stretch to win the championship. I actually picked the Heat to upset them in the first round. That did not end well, but anyway, that's where the Bucks are at number 7. And then number 6, I got Utah. Out of the top 5 now, dropping down a spot. A lot of people have Utah at 9, and I'm just like, this is stupid. They're not that bad. Utah, they have won 2 straight, 6-4 in the last 10 games. If they want any chance to get the 3 seed right now, the Warriors are struggling a little bit without Curry. Now's the time for them to go on a winning streak, but the more priority is keeping that 4 seed. But I don't like the matchup with them and the 1. But we'll see what happens with the Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, and this team. I feel like that they should be contenders. A lot of people disagree with that, but this team is a good team at number 6. And then number 5, the 76ers, jumping up a spot. Philly. With James Harden, with Joel Embiid, this team is a scary team come playoff times. Probably the team I will have making it out of the Eastern Conference, but we'll see. The 76ers. Yeah, I mean, that's all you need. Joel Embiid. If they don't win the championship here, that trade is going to be trash for the 76ers, I think. They gave up a lot of their future for Harden, but they're good. They went all in, kind of like the Rams, kind of like the Broncos this year, relating this to football. But, yeah, that's where the Sixers are. We'll see what happens in that Eastern Conference. That Eastern Conference is wide open right now. But yeah, that's where the Sixers are. And then number 4, we got the Heat staying at the same spot. Heat really steady team. Have won 2 straight, 7-3 in the last 10 games. Really steadily hanging on to that 1 seed. I don't think they're going to lose it by the end of the year, especially if they keep playing like this. This Heat team is a good team. What the? It says they've clinched their division, so I guess the Suns haven't clinched their division. So yeah, Heat have clinched their division. I know that doesn't really matter in basketball, but you are the whatever division they are champs this year. So that's where the Heat are. And then number 3, I got the Golden State Warriors. Going to be dropping down a spot at 47-23. Warriors without Curry could be interesting to see what happens, but Curry is going to be back for the playoffs, but he's not going to be back for the rest of the year. I think this team wants to be able to be the 3 seed badly. If they're a 4 seed, they're at risk. They're going to have to play the Suns, which is the 2 best teams in the West Conference with Curry. right there playing. So we'll see what happens there, though. But then we got the Grizzlies jumping up a spot at number 2. Grizzlies have taken this from the Warriors, which was impressive. Ja Morant, this team. We'll see how they look in the playoffs. I believe, they did make it last year. But Memphis is going to that was actually big for them last year, getting that playoff experience under their belt. We'll see if they can make a run. I don't think they'll win the championship, but they are in the contender tier for a reason, so we'll see. And then number 1, the Phoenix Suns. It's just easy. They're 47-14. They are really the next closest team is the Grizzlies, and they're 9 games back. So, and that's all divisions, by the way. That's all the conference. That's the league. The Suns are just dominant right now, even without Paul. It's just crazy. We'll see what happens, though, in the playoffs. This feels like the Suns team last year. We'll see if they can go on a run. Regular season isn't everything. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hope you all enjoyed the content. I'm going to be coming out with my Sweet 16 predictions on Monday. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. Peace.